Hi, my name is Gitika Khandelwal, and this is my friend Himanshu Shah. Um, we are going to analyze a movie called No One Killed Jessica from the perspective of law of evidence. Um, Himanshu will deal with the plot, I will deal with the analysis, and again, Himanshu is going to talk about the conclusion that we derived from the movie. Over to you, Himanshu.
The plot of the story is Jessica Lal was a 34-year model in Delhi who worked as a bartender in a restaurant. On the incident night of the April 29, she was working as usual with her co-worker Vikram Jaising when Manish Bharadwaj and his two companions approached Jessica and Vikram for a drink, but the bar was officially closed at that time. She did not accept the money and denied giving him drinks, saying that the bar was closed. Manish was enraged by her stubborn attitude, which led to a verbal conflict between the Manish and Jessica. He was very furious by the sharp replies of Jessica and shot her twice with his pistol. The former to the ceiling of the bar as warning for her, and the next on her forehead for irritating responses. Further, Manish and his pals immediately fled to the side. Jessica was taken to the hospital right away, but she died just a few hours later. August 1999, a case was filed in court with Manish as a principal convict following his confinement. Manish families has apparently resolved the intervene and temper with the case as much as possible through bribery and witness intimidation. The chief investigator interrogates all 300 persons who were present at the party, claiming that they were already left at the time of the shooting, despite the fact that they have seen the incident. The lead investigator and the other witnesses were all bribed by the Manish and the family, who was the son of a prominent member of a major national political party. One of the reporters became enraged when she heard the headline "No one killed Jessica" and decided to deal with the issue, claiming that it is a trial by media and that the media should stand up for the justice for Jessica. Now the analysis part will be dealt by
Okay. So the first fact that we took for the analysis was that Jessica Lal was one of the numerous models working in a bar at a party when the establishment ran out of the liquor at midnight in the film No One Killed Jessica. Manish P. Bharadwaj stepped into the bar with two of his buddies and wanted to serve liquor. However, Jessica, along with her few other individuals, refused. This upsets Manish, who pulled out a 22 mm pistol and shot Jessica in head, killing her. To analyze this, we applied Section 8 of Indian Evidence Act 1872, which says motive, preparation, and previous or subsequent conduct. In the present case, it is evident that accused Manish has the motive which can be visible from the conduct when the accused asked the drink and Jessica denied it, saying that the bar was closed. This accused an argument between both of them, which enraged the conduct of the accused. Therefore, in an invocation of Section 8, and the second shot were on her head, which led to her death. Section 6 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872, which talks about relevancy of facts forming part of same transaction. Consequently, Section 6 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872, the conduct and the action of the accused are forming the part of the same transaction and also being considered as a relevant fact. Further, Section 3 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872 talks about the direct evidence. Eyewitnesses plays an important role in the criminal justice system, and every legislative measures in connection of witnesses contributes to the fundamental principle of fair trial. Section 134 of the Indian Evidence Act talks about number of witnesses. No particular number of witnesses shall in any case be required for a proof of any fact. This section lays down the provision that there is no particular number of witnesses fixed by law which can be required to prove any fact. Even one witness can be enough to prove a fact before the court of law. In this movie, eyewitness in the direct evidence. Here, Vikram Jaising, prime witness, is considered as direct evidence because he has witnessed the murder. As we know, one should always provide best evidence. In this case, as Vikram is eyewitness, it is considered to be the best evidence for the case. The second fact that we derived, that we could analyze on, was Manish and his buddies exited the restaurant as soon as the pistol was fired. Manish went to a remote location and dug a hole in the earth to conceal the rifle, which he then covered with sand. Later, Manish Pal arrived in a car, taking a weapon off the ground with him and driving to the secluded location. The pistol and the vehicle used by the criminals were later found, and police filed an FIR with Vikram as the key witness, as well as others, including the bar owner. To this, we applied Section 25 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872, which talks about confession to the police officer not to be proved. Further, we applied Section 26 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872, which talks about confession by accused while in custody of police not to be proved against him. The current section deals with confession made in the presence of the police officer who has custody of an accused. That is, a police officer who is involved in the investigation of the case is in same way, and those confessions are strictly prohibited, whether made to any police officer or to any other person, unless they are made in the immediate presence of the magistrate. Section 106 of Indian Evidence Act 1872 was further applied, which talks about burden of proving for fact, especially within the knowledge. When any fact is especially within the knowledge of any person, the burden of proving that fact is upon him. In the present case, the appellant Manish has taken false pleas. He was holder of a pistol duly endorsed on his arms license. It was his duty to have kept the same in a safe custody and to explain its whereabouts. It is proved beyond reasonable doubt on record that extensive efforts were made to trace the pistol and the same could not be recovered. Further, there was no complaint in the report of the said pistol. Thus, an adverse inference has been drawn against the accused Manish for non-explanation of whereabouts of the said pistol in terms of 106 of the Evidence Act. Further, we analyzed the case with another fact. It is unavoidable that Manish, the son of a prominent member of a major political party, will cause a scandal. Manish's family decided to tamper such as they could with the evidence and the witness in the case through bribery and witness intimidation. The lead investigator admitted to Sabrina, who is Jessica's sister, that he had been bribed to save Manish from being hit during the interrogation. Tries to talk to the remaining witnesses and persuades them to remain truthful, but she begins to fear that some of them being bribed and threatened. Section 137 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872 talks about cross-examination of witnesses. The examination of witness by the adverse parties shall be called his cross-examination. In the present case, there were many witnesses, but all of them were intimidated and bribed by the accused of his and his family, because they are politically powerful, that is, abuse of power. Witness protection is important in any case, but in the present case, the accused and his family had the opportunity to bribe and intimidate so many witnesses due to a lack of witness protection. Further, we analyzed we applied Section 45 of the Indian Evidence Act, which talks about opinion of experts. In the present case, forensic experts were asked to find out whether the two bullets shot by the accused belongs to the same gun or not. The experts used the word appear, his opinion unsupported by reason becomes inconclusive and stands discredited for the purpose of placing reliance on. Hence, the expert has tampered the evidence by changing the bullets and stated it in the favor of the accused. Further, Himanshu will deal with the conclusion. Over to you, Himanshu.
Thank you, Tijati. On the basis of the analysis that has been presented hereby, the authors aim to present the idea when the law of evidence, even if it is not enforced, the way and the manner in which the investigation is ought to proceed is absolutely driven by a rational conclusion. When we bring into the consideration the scenario that has been portrayed in the movie, Jessica would only be a young woman who died tragically because someone with a pistol in hand, power in his head, decided that her life is cheaper than the glass of his drink. One of the aspects which has been taken into consideration is that the difficult situation in which the current judicial system is, and also shows the progress that India has made to try to improve in its judicial system. The legacy of the distress and intimidation has been created a challenging obstacle for India to overcome in order to promote a society that not only protects in practice but choose protection. Thank you.
Thank you so much.